Early this week I uploaded my cover video of the magical, mystical theme to the NeverEnding Story, and since then I've been bombarded by comments from cool people like you asking for a lesson on how to play those sweet synth and guitar solos. So on today's lesson we're going to break them down lick by magical lick. Well, hey there kids, and welcome to a brand new installment of Weekend Wankshop. Here's your best buddy, Uncle Ben. Being a child of the 80s like I am, I watched the NeverEnding Story like a million times when I was a kid. So I was super delighted whenever its iconic magical theme song by Limahl made an appearance on Stranger Things Season 3. The song features some really cool instrumentation and chord changes, and there in the middle of the original there is a sitar solo followed by a guitar solo followed by some super hot licks on the synthesizer. So whenever I put up my cover, I decided to make all that stuff happen on guitar. As always, you guys can find full tabs for this on my Instagram page at Ben Eller Guitars. Search for hashtag Weekend Wankshop 241. Find the tabs and make your own never-ending challenge video and upload it along with hashtag Weekend Wankshop. And of course, if you like what I do here on my channel, I want to say thanks. Be sure to check out my Patreon page by clicking the link in the video description below or going to patreon.com/BenEllerGuitars. There's downloadable tabs, bonus lessons, backing tracks, all kinds of good stuff on there that you can use to start making your life better today. Scope it out. So as we go through these licks, you're going to notice that they're in different positions than what you saw in the playthrough cover video that I made. In that video, I was playing my Suhr Modern White Tiger, which is a truly majestic instrument. And I mean, come on, if you're doing an 80s ass tune like this and you have a White Tiger guitar, that's what you're going to play it on. But I keep that guitar tuned down a half step. That's the main guitar I use in my hair metal cover band, Skank Banger. So I was using that guitar just for the aesthetic purposes, but it's tuned down a half step. Today I've got this Suhr Modern Satin right here, which is just in standard tuning, which is what we're going to be using here. So just wanted to put that out there, that if you watch the video and see it in a different position, that's because that guitar was tuned down. So the first solo here is the one that is played on the sitar that I rearranged for this goofy synth guitar sound, which is so cool. And the tone here, like I mentioned in the video, is coming from the Fractal Axe FX III right here. This is setting 246 from the factory. It's called Funky Synth. It has a scene in there called D-Tune, and that is what I use to record it to get that crazy synth tone. It's not a pedal or anything like that. It's just all the fractals. Pretty much amazing. It's just too freaking sweet. So this solo is in the key of G major, and we're going to start off here with the 12th fret on the G string, then the 15 on the B 2 times. We're going to play this descending line. So this is 15, 13, 12 on the B string, followed by the 11th G. So I got to do a little position shift right there. You'll notice my first finger just jumping down a fret. At the speed of this, that's not really that big of a deal. Then play the 12th D 2 times. So now you have, then you walk it down. So we have this line, 12 and 14 on the D, 11 G, then back to that 14 on the D. We're going to play this line, 14, 12, 11 on the G, 12, 14, and then go to the B string here and play the 12 2 times. And then you got this last descending line. You're going to start off just by walking up those same notes you've been using on the B here, so the 12, 13, 15. Walk back down to 13 and 12. 12 on the G, so you get a little finger roll right there. And then on the D string here, you're going to play 14, 12, and then slide down to 8. You slide down to 8 for that B flat note, which is way out of key if you're thinking about the key of G. But at this point, the chord progression stuff modulates to the key of B flat. And it starts off on a B flat major chord. So whenever he slides down to this way out of key, 8th fret D string B flat note, he's hitting the root note of the chord that just changed behind him. So the entire sitar synth solo should sound something like this. You walk it down. Then we get into the guitar solo, so it's back to guitar tone time. So like I mentioned a second ago, at this point it changes to the key of B flat. And just as your synth or sitar is sliding down to its B flat note to match it, our lead guitar here is picking up on its B flat note. So what we're going to do here is to play that 11th fret B string. And you'll notice I did that with a little bit of a rake here. So I'm muting out, the fat strings up here, just kind of placing my palm on them really rigidly. But I'm not muting the B string. That way I can just rake the pick through the strings and just get that note out of it. Get a little extra wind up on that note, So you're gonna hit that, then do another rake and play that note again, then play the 13, and then do this. So that was a quick whole step bend, let it down, take it back up again. So it's 2 bends off of 1 pick stroke. Just like that. While you still got it held up, pick it again, and let it back down. After that, play the 11, play the 13 again with a whole step bend, let it down, then you gotta play the 10 2 times, and do a half step bend. So it's a lot of little nuanced stuff there, the rakes, the bends, and all that jazz, but it's not too hard. Really listen with your heart, and you'll find your way through it. So that move right there was the 6, then the 6 again, sliding to 8. We're going to make a big jump up the neck right here. So what I'm doing right here is I'm playing that 18 on the B string, again with a whole step bend, a little rake into that one too, so that sounded cool. Then let it back down to neutral and play just the 18th fret again. Now the way that I do that, the way that I silently let bends down, in other words, it doesn't sound like this, where you heard the bend like come back down to pitch. It just kind of sounds like it's suddenly back at neutral, It's really tricky to explain, but basically what I'm doing is I'm holding the pick up against the string while it's being let down. That way you can't hear it. It's effectively muting the string, because otherwise it would sound like that, and I'm not letting go of the bend either. That would make a ton of noise. So once you get the bend up, jam that pick up against it, let it down. That way you can get that neutral 18th fret sound out of it. After that, we're going to play the 13, the 15 with a half step bend, okay? And then what we're going to do is I played the 15 again with a half step bend, let it down, do a pull off to 13, and then back to 15, okay? Just like that. So far we should have this. After this, what you're going to do is just slide off that 15 all the way up here to fret number 20 to that G note. Again, this is matching the fact that in the background, a G chord is being played, so you need to play something that hooks up with that. Now, it's at this moment that the guitar slides up to that high G note that you have those 2 descending harmonized guitars. On the original, it's some kind of synthesizer or something like that, but I decided to make it a more traditional, kind of Yngwie style, 1-string descending shred lick that's harmonized in thirds. And this is over the G chord, which is resolving to C. So basically what's going on here is we got kind of a G mixolydian kind of tonality to make that resolve to C sound even better. Again, it's straight down the G mixolydian scale. You could think of it as being part of the C major scale, so no sharps, no flats, only natural, gluten-free, organic notes being played here. That's the first guitarist part right here. And again, this is all alternate picked. There's no slides or anything like this. I find that licks like this where you're, alternate picking down a single string are great to test your hand synchronization, If you can't get your hands in sync on one string, playing through a big 6-string scale shape is going to be murder. So really work a lot on this kind of stuff and you'll improve your hand sync a lot. Okay, groups of 4. The high guitar here starts off on fret number 19, which is your B note. What we're gonna do is we're gonna play 19, 17, 15, 13. So this is just all whole steps. Notice that I didn't one finger per note this, like this. You could do it that way, I guess. That's just not really my habit. I would prefer to go little, middle, first, first. All the position shifts that I do will take place off of my first finger. Okay, so your first one is 19, 17, 15, 13. Next set of 4 here is again going to just go straight down the scale. We're gonna play 17, 15, 13, 12. Next set is gonna be 15, 13, 12, 10, 13, 12, 10, 8, 12, 10, 8, 7, 10, 8, 7, 5. That's a lot of stuff so far. After this, play 8, 7, 5, 3. And then the last one here is gonna go 7, 5, 3. And we're gonna go to the B string for these last 2 notes. That was a 6B, 5B. Again, ending on an E note, the 3rd of the C chord that's being played in the rhythm guitar at that point. So the whole high descending runs just like this. And this is harmonized in thirds, so the other guitar is going to be playing essentially the same idea, but starting from a different note in the scale. The way that I did it is it starts off on the G note on the B string. It's got to sound like this. So this guitar starts off on the root note of the G chord and ends on the root note of the C chord. So this kind of has a good strong foundational kind of sound to it. And again, same deal, descending 4s going off the first finger, mainly traveling down 1 string. Start off on the B string here and play 20, 18, 17, 15, okay? Then you're gonna play 18, 17, 15, 13, 17, 15, 13, 12, 15, 13, 12, 10, 13, 12, 10, 8, 12, 10, 8, 6, 10, 8, 6, 5, and then the last one here is 8, 6, 5, and then descend onto the G string here and play 7 and 5. You know, memorizing licks like that based off of fret numbers like I was just rattling off is pure agony. To me, it's like I could never memorize that big long line of numbers. You know, if I was truly just learning this off of tab and I didn't know the notes on the fretboard, I didn't know the scale, it would take me 10 times longer to memorize that than it does when I'm just thinking about the notes in the scale. One thing I seriously think every guitar player needs to just buckle down on is just learn the damn notes. It'll make your life so much easier, but yet I see like 99% of all guitar players really struggle with it. And it is hard, it really is. That's what Skype lessons are for. BenEllerGuitars@gmail.com is where you can contact me. So those 2 lines are, you know, alternate picked 16th notes, meaning 4 notes per beat, at about 120 BPM. So it's pretty quick. You're looking at playing 480 notes a minute at that speed, if the math checks out. I was homeschooled. So what I want you guys to do to really focus on getting that in control and keeping your hands really in sync is really lean into the first note of each grouping with your pick. So in other words, don't make it sound monotone like this, where every note is struck with the same velocity. What I want you to do instead is really grab that first note of each set. You'll notice that when I play it that way, it's no longer monotone, it grooves a lot better too. But most importantly, I think the benefit of doing those accents like that is at that point your right hand kind of becomes the metronome that you're playing to, you know? Whereas if it's just this, da 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 da, it's hard to keep track of. But when your right hand is going da 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 da, it's just like playing with a click track that's accenting the first 16th note, you know? So whenever you do those sequence licks like that, try doing it with an accent on the first of every 4 notes. It's going to keep you on track a lot better. Okay, so once more over everything, our synth solo starts off in the key of G up here at the 12th position. Guitar solo picks up here, B flat, sexy bends. as soon as the guitar hits that high G note, the quick descending licks start off. The lower guitar will start off here on G. While the high guitar starts off at the B note. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and again, be sure to upload a video of yourself playing that along with hashtag Weekend Wankshop and NeverEnding Challenge like all the cool kids are doing these days. Personally, I would like to see 2 weekend wankers attack this thing, and maybe one guy plays, you know, the synth solo, and then the other person plays the guitar solo, and then they hook up for that descending Bill and Ted's lick at the end. I think that would be totally bitchin', so I'll have my eyes peeled. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for new content coming at you every single week. You guys can follow me on Instagram at Ben Eller Guitars, on Patreon at patreon.com/BenEllerGuitars, and on Facebook at facebook.com/Uncle Ben Eller. And like I mentioned, if you're interested in booking some one-on-one Skype lessons with me, be sure to drop me an email, benellerguitars@gmail.com. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Well guys, it's been fun, but it's now time for us to depart and you go on your own journey towards shred domination. And who knows what you'll encounter on your journey, you know? You never know. You might run into a reality-destroying, terrifying wolf, maybe a big old rock creature, a racing snail, some sphinxes with their boobs out. Maybe your horse will die in a swamp, I don't know. That movie was really weird. Anyway, it's time to go. Less clicking, more picking.